Yesterday, the tennis world was in a frenzy after Grigor Dimitrov revealed that he tested positive for the coronavirus. Novak Djokovic faced much of the backlash as Dimitrov participated in his Adria Tour event where no social distancing measures were put in place. Additionally, the tour held kids' days, playful soccer and basketball games, plus parties and nightclubs. Today, Borna Coric announced that he too has been tested positive for the coronavirus after playing and coming into close contact with Dimitrov in their match on Saturday. Coric in his statement said, "Hi everyone, I wanted to inform you all that I tested positive for COVID-19. I want to make sure anyone who has been in contact with me during the last few days gets tested. I am really sorry for any harm I might have caused. I'm feeling well and don't have any symptoms. Please stay safe and healthy. Lots of love to all." Additionally, Serbian player Viktor Troicki has reportedly been tested positive for the coronavirus, as well as Grigor's coach Chris Groh and Novak's fitness coach Marko Panicki. On the bright side, other Adria Tour participants Damir Žumer, Alexander Zverev, Marin Cilic, and Andrei Rublev have tested negative. Furthermore, the Belgrade leg winner of the Adria Tour, Dominic Thiem, has tested negative as he now competes in the Ultimate Tennis Showdown alongside Stefanos Tsitsipas. Zverev, Cilic, and Rublev have expressed their regret for even competing in the tour, posting apologies on their social media. Zverev said, "I have just received the news that my team and I have tested negative for COVID-19. I deeply apologize to anyone that I have potentially put at risk by playing this tour. I will proceed to follow the self-isolating guidelines advised by our doctors. As an added precaution, my team and I will continue with regular testing. I wish everyone who has tested positive a speedy recovery. Stay safe." Cilic's statement read, "Hi everyone, I wanted to share with you that I have tested negative for the COVID-19 virus and I'm feeling well. Regardless, I will self-isolate for the next 14 days and continue to listen to the advice of medical professionals. I will keep you informed of any changes to my status. Thank you all for your concern and well wishes. Stay well." Lastly, Rublev tweeted, "Hi everyone, I wanted to tell you that I am fine and healthy. I tested negative for COVID-19. I hope that our lives will soon return to normal and we can handle it together. What is happening in the world now is our responsibility. This is a global problem and it affects all of us. We need to help reduce the spreading of this virus. So I'm going to self-quarantine for the next 14 days. Thank you for your support." I really appreciate everyone's statements because while what they did by competing in the tour was ignorant, it's good that they can see the fault of their actions. One thing that people fail to mention is that while Djokovic orchestrated this event, these players knew the risk and decided to compete. Now that fact aside, I'm glad that they understand that they were wrong and will now act with more caution. Regardless, Novak and the tour received immense backlash from professionals, Australian Nick Kyrgios calling it boneheaded. Boneheaded decision to go ahead with the exhibition. Speedy recovery, fellas, but that's what happens when you disregard all protocols. This is not a joke. Nick went on to throw a jab at Nole, sarcastically saying, "Congratulations, such leadership." This isn't surprising, matter of fact it was expected, even by two-time major champion Naomi Osaka. Nick has been very vocal against tennis's return, clearly not in favor with the US Open going on. The Adria Tour was extremely reckless with no safety protocols, so of course he'd say something. Kyrgios' close friend Andy Murray also condemned the tour's lack of safety, while raising concerns of how tennis will fare upon return. "I have always had a good relationship with Novak," said Murray. "In hindsight, with what's happened there, it is not a good look. When you are going through a time like this, it's important any of the top athletes around the world should be showing that we are taking this extremely seriously and knowing that we are using social distancing measures and whatever it is, Like when I'm getting treatment from my physio wearing masks and things, just to reduce the risk as much as possible. I think it has been the case a little bit in golf as well. There's been a few players flouting the rules, and it's just not a good look for the sport when something like this happens. I hope that we learn from it, and off the back of it, they will be taking it extremely seriously, because ultimately, the tour won't get back again if we are having problems every single week and the players are doing what they want. We need to make sure that we are doing the right thing. All countries obviously have different rules in place, but I think though, once you start to bring in international travel into it, and players are coming in, and team members from all different parts of the world, you need to make sure you're taking all the correct measures, safety measures, all the precautions that you can, to try to avoid a situation like they got into over there. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. There's not a big outbreak there, because my understanding is that in Serbia and Croatia, they were handling it fairly well. But once you start having mass gatherings with people coming in from all sorts of countries, it's a recipe for it to kick off. It's kind of a lesson for all of us to take, if we weren't already, to take this extremely seriously, to have as many safety measures in place as possible. Fellow Brit Dan Evans was more direct in his criticism of the event, saying, "I don't think you should be having a players' party and dancing all over each other, and then two very good players test positive. He should feel some responsibility for his event and how it has transpired. It is a poor example to set, even if the guidelines in that country are not 2 meters. It is not a joke, is it? There's been a total disregard for that. It is very unfortunate that Grigor has it, Coric has it. But if you strip it back, is it a surprise? That is the question we should all ask. I hope there is no second guessing now in the US Open because of these unfortunate events." Now, after many second guessing whether the ATP Tour should resume, the association themselves released a statement saying, "The ATP wishes a complete and quick recovery for the ATP players and members of their staff who tested positive for COVID-19 following an involvement in the Adria Tour exhibition tournament. The ATP continues to urge strict adherence to responsible social distancing and health and safety guidelines to contain the spread of the virus. In planning for the resumption of the ATP Tour season from August 14th, the ATP and other stakeholders have made exhaustive plans to mitigate risks through a variety of precautions and protocols to be implemented at ATP events. We continue to plan and adjust these precautions and protocols according to the latest medical information and prioritize safety in assessing every decision." American player Sasha Vickery addressed those Djokovic fans attacking her for her previous statements, tweeting, "We're all them Djokovic fans that were attacking me last week after I said we should prioritize health before the amount of people we can bring to a slam. I'm trying to see something." Speaking of Novak, the Serb's agent revealed that he went home to Belgrade untested rather than doing it on the spot in Zadar. This decision was apparently made because he nor anybody from his team, aside from his trainer, showed symptoms. I just don't understand why he waited to be tested and didn't simply get it done like everyone else did. You can still be asymptomatic and have the virus, but he made that reckless choice to not test, and that's on him. Novak will reportedly get tested tomorrow, where he is also expected to release a statement regarding everything. At the end of the day, I hope Novak doesn't test positive, and that he does give some type of apology like the rest of his counterparts did. That's all for today's video, and let me know how you feel about the player's apology. Also, do you agree with Murray and Kyrgios' criticisms? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified when we post new developments on this story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.